good. Let's go. And we are live. We are live. I don't know what this is. It's a chopping thing, right?
Drum roll, rolling the drums.
Oh, no, you are doing this. I'm doing this. I'm chopping. I don't know. What am I chopping? Maybe I'm chopping money. Who knows? Anyway. And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. We are live on Mpho Mankayi's YouTube page. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Vigan Kosi. Some people are really lucky because they don't experience load shedding. Unfortunately, we had to move this episode to 1 o'clock because we're experiencing load shedding. And I mean, ESCOM, really. I think I'm one of those people that get to celebrate when we are moving from stages, from stage 6. When we move to stage 4, I get excited. I'm like, yay, 1 stage down, or 2 stages down. And then when you're moving from stage 4 to stage 2, I also get excited. But, I think I'm going to just celebrate and show me when we actually get out of the stages and not have load shedding. But that's a story for another day. I'm too ambitious. But here's what I'm not ambitious about.
But yeah.
I won't put in Devin, they don't have load shedding. That's why he's so cocky. It's fine, Mpho, we'll get you. your, your turn is coming. Welcome to it, man. We call this Clinical Monday. Your way to begin a healthy week right here on Mpho Mankayi. And usually we broadcast on 2 streams on Mpho Mankayi's Facebook page. But unfortunately, that it's down. It's down for now. And also on YouTube. So we're using our YouTube platform for this conversation. And today we are focusing the conversation on viral load suppression. We are also touching close to you. We are talking about low viral loads and all that. What is it? And we're trying to give you the 411 rather on what you need to know. And helping me in this conversation is a clinician out in Durban, and his name is Mpho Mankayi. Mpho, I almost said good morning, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Hi V, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for making time. Let's just jump straight into it. We know, for me, I know that viral loads, or a viral load is something that is linked to HIV, or something that has to do with HIV. But for somebody who does not know what it is, take us through what is viral load, and first describe what viral load is, and then describe viral load suppression.
Okay, cool. By saying that it's linked to people living with HIV. You can't be talking a viral load whilst you're not infected with HIV, you're not living with HIV. So viral load is basically the amount of the virus that's inside your blood. You have to be living with HIV. You must test HIV positive, and then that's when you can say viral load. And then for us to say that the viral load is suppressed, it has to be between less than 50 copies, which are according to the rules or the guidelines of that we are currently using.
Okay, so it obviously links to HIV, 1,000 copies. I think it's different depending from country to country. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's in the UK, they would say 50 copies or less, then your viral load is suppressed. It's quite interesting to think that, because I'm sitting here thinking HIV is the same. HIV is a global, disease, infection, whatever, and so it should be the same globally. But I think it differs from country to country. But then, how do we get our viral load suppressed? I think that's where my interest is. For this part of the conversation, how do we get that viral load to be suppressed? Yes, we found out, you've established that one is HIV positive, and now they want to get their viral load suppressed. How do we do that?
Sorry, I apologize. Someone else calling. I'm sorry, I apologize. Okay, cool. If I'm getting your question well, you were asking how do we get to the stage where we can say that you are virally suppressed. Perfect.
Yeah.
So obviously you have to be adherent to your medication. You have to be an active person in you taking your medication. That's the first step of you getting to the stage of being virally suppressed. Also, there's a people living with HIV, which is something we're going to talk about later, the misconceptions around the whole HIV and viral load issues. Once people start testing HIV positive, they tend to think, once they start to be undetectable, or when the viral load is suppressed, they tend to think that they are cured and not use condoms. Or, okay, actually, the point that I'm trying to get to is that when they live with HIV, they tend not to use condom because now they think that they won't get infected anymore. So what's the use of getting using protection condom for that matter? So you obviously have to be on be using condoms for you to be virally your viral load to be suppressed, and also out I think the key also with ARVs is consistency. You just have to be consistent. Try to be consistent with time, because most of the time it's like any other medication, or most of the time your antibiotics. If it's given that it's gonna be in your system for 8 hours, if 8 hours you fail, like, you have nothing that's protecting you, so you get being the virus the chance to multiply or to expand. So the key to it is to be consistent. Try to be consistent with time. If it's 8 o'clock in the morning, let it be 8 o'clock every day. If it's 8 o'clock in the evening, let it be 8 o'clock in the evening. Don't now try to mess up Sneninki 10 or Sneninki 11. So try to be consistent with the time.
Yeah, someone will say, but Yafana must they would say, if you've missed your time to take your pill, and then you
Yeah.
take it maybe when you remember.
Yes.
Yeah, but because I've remembered and I took my pill. But actually, that is very dangerous, because now that level of protection is compromised, and in that way, the virus, which, because obviously the virus is smart, can then learn these patterns to say, oh, uvi uyaphuza ngo 11 past 1,
Yeah.
but it's 12 past 1. So next time, ngizomela 12 past 1, and then I'm gonna replicate, and then then their viral load will not suppress, and they will be shocked with it. No, but Mpho, I'm taking my medication all the time, on time, every
Yeah.
day. But I'm still not virally suppressed. Well, they are not adhering to the medication. Well, they are
They
adhering, but
are.
they're not taking it the correct way. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just a matter of being disciplined and being
yeah.
consistent with your action. Let it be at the same time. Try to be. I mean, we're human, but try to make it to be around at the same time.
Yeah, there are other factors. People will talk about adherence clubs, which people who are living with HIV are a part of, to sort of like help, support, to help, be
Yeah,
there for people who are HIV positive. Besides that, they will tell you about a pill buddy, or a medication buddy, or a buddy that you take your medication with, a family member in the house who knows that you are HIV, and would help you to take your pill on time, or to remind you to take your pills on time. So I think it's a lot of factors that are brought in to really try and make someone's viral load to be suppressed. But now, Mpho, I'm interested in finding out, how long does it take for the virus to suppress? And so it's two questions. So the first one is, how long does it take for the viral load to be suppressed, and how do we notice that our viral load is suppressed? Is it a physical thing? Because I'll tell you this: if I have flu, right,
yeah,
my body
yeah,
reacts. Right?
yeah.
My throat reacts, my nose reacts, my face reacts, whatever. And if the flu now is starting to leave my system, then my body becomes not sick anymore. It becomes better. Now I can breathe well because my nostrils are unblocked, my throat is clearing, my face is not painful anymore. But with viral load, can we even feel it? I mean, I'm being ambitious here, but can we even feel it physically to say, yeah, imagine I see virus, suppressed, so I think
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. There's no as to enough evidence to say, or this is the specific time, or literature that is to say, or after this how long. But it's from what I've taken from Google, or from what I've seen on Google, is that with the new drug, it takes about 3 weeks, sorry, 3 months for you to be virally suppressed. But for us to be able to say that you are virally suppressed, getting to your question of how do we see as clinicians, we obviously take bloods. We take bloods at the first 6 months. Let's say you are a newly person that's newly diagnosed, and we study you with medication. At 6 months, we take bloods just to see if you're virally suppressed, and then at 12 months again, we take bloods to confirm, to say that you are virally suppressed, and then the results will tell that either you are or you are not. And then for someone that's maybe defaulted, and then we reinitiating them, we still follow the procedure to say at 3 months we need to test for viral, to take viral load and see if you suppressed or not. Your question, to say that can you feel it in your system? I mean, we need to always remember. Can I just put on something there? We need to remember the relationship between CD4 count and viral load. So when the relationship between the two, it's your inversely proportional to one another. When another one goes up, the other one must go down. And for us to say that we happy is when obviously your viral load is going down and your CD4 count is going up. So if your CD4 count is down, it means your viral load is high, and therefore that's when you start having your conditions like your skin problems. You're starting to be having your throat problems, any minor conditions, to say now that your body is compromised. So that's when you can start feeling the symptoms. And then when those start to maybe resolve, that's when, as an individual, maybe you can say that, okay, maybe I'm being virally suppressed because now I'm starting everything, the symptoms start to fade away. So yeah.
Yeah. No. I've got you. I now see that clear indication. It's quite interesting when you talk about that the CD4 count going up, that
Yeah.
relationship between CD4 count and viral load. So when the viral load is taking a dip, it means that you're taking your ARVs and your CD4 count then goes up. So we need the CD4 counts
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
let's touch on how important then it is for our virus to suppress. And in this instance, I'm talking about benefits. One of the benefits that I know at the top of my head is U equals to U untransmittable,
Yeah.
undetectable
Yeah.
equals
Yeah.
untransmittable. So it means that if my viral load is under 1,000 copies, then I will not be able to transmit the virus to the next person. But what are some of the benefits that we get when our viral load is suppressed?
Okay, yeah, you're right. Your U equals to U, meaning if it's undetectable, it means you can't pass it to the other person, and which is what we're striving for. I mean, we want to be an HIV generation, HIV-free generation. So one needs to take their medication, obviously, and then also we get to when you're having your viral load suppressed, we you a person gets to not to be easily attacked by your opportunistic infections, because like what I was saying right now, this whole CD4 count and viral load, because now it means that you're on your medication, taking your medication very well, and you can't be having any opportunity. Okay, not that you can't be having any, but the chances are less, and the risk is very low that you might be getting infectious opportunistic infections.
I got you. We talk about being undetectable, or the virus being undetectable, and the viral load being suppressed. But obviously, like any other thing, there should be misconceptions, or there are misconceptions. And I think you
Yes.
touched on those misconceptions earlier on how now somebody would say, I mean, I get guys in polio, I'm healed. HIV has left my system. Oh, I almost went churchy and very hallelujah, I'm healed. But obviously that is another misconception, unfortunately, even though
Yeah.
it opens up to a different conversation to say, I went to church, they prayed for me, now I'm rid of HIV. But a lot of people would say that now I'm virally suppressed, I can go now sleeping around, or not even sleeping around, I cannot even use protection anymore because mina ngipholile, ngile abompho bayongcheck after 6 months, but I took guys, and then they just found out I'm virally suppressed, so it means the virus is there but high bonds, so it means I cannot pass it on. What are some of these misconceptions that people who are undetectable often fall for, or perpetuate when it comes to viral load being suppressed?
It's that exactly. That people think now that they are cured. If it's you are very suppressed, it means you are cured. You are not cured. You still have to continue taking your medication. Others would come to say, "What's the point of me taking medication?" When you tested me, you said that I'm very suppressed. It doesn't mean that now you need to stop. It means that everything is controlled. You're taking well your medication to a point where you are undetectable. But it doesn't mean that the virus gone. Remember, with the ARV, virus is gone. That is, remember with ARVs, they do not cure, but rather they suppress the virus in your system so that you don't get affected by your opportunistic infection, or it doesn't get any severe. So yeah.
Yeah. It makes managing or living with HIV a better or an easy journey when you
Yeah.
are taking things and adhering to them, and you know where you go when you don't have medication, and stuff like that. Can we then touch on reinfection? What is the reinfection? Somebody might think we are talking about maybe an STI. Obviously HIV is an STI, but we're talking about other STIs. Maybe you are talking about a reinfection of some kind of flu. But what is a reinfection, and how does that take does that take to talk, or rather does that talk to different stages of HIV?
Okay, cool. When we're talking about reinfection, we're now talking with someone that's on ARVs, for example. I would be on ARVs and I engage in an unprotected sexual intercourse with someone that's living again with HIV. So when that happens, obviously the person reinfects me, pass on the virus to me. So reinfection is basically passing on the virus to the other person or to the same person that's living with HIV. So that's what basically reinfection is. As when you're not using any condoms and you're getting you get HIV is being transmitted again. With the strand part, the new strand part, I'm not sure, but I did some research, or there's a study that I found by Scott Gottelbeck. I forgot the name. I'll update you the name later. Where he says that yeah, it's possible that you get a new strand now that's different to to your strand. So it with then when it becomes tricky because you got reinfected, but now we still treating the different kind of strand of HIV. And when you
Yeah,
do our vaccine routinely, we find out you're not suppressing, and we start to ask you, but what's happening? And you'll
yeah.
be telling us, I'm taking my medication at the same time. I'm taking my medication every day, blah, 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 blah. But we're like, that's not possible. So it means now it's a new strand. That's the study that I found by Scott
Mm.
Kittle. But now, so reinfection is just you passing on the virus to the person that's living with HIV.
Mm. So we should not infect each other, even if you're undetectable and you can transmit the virus. Just we need to make sure that we take care of ourselves holistically when we engage in sexual intercourse. Let's use condoms. And I almost wanted to slip and say, but people can take care of themselves by taking PrEP, and maybe it should be a conversation for another day to say if I'm having sexual intercourse with somebody who is HIV positive and I'm taking my PrEP, you know, it's a he's undetectable and
Yeah,
I'm on my PrEP, so
yeah.
he cannot transmit it. I cannot take it because already I'm protected. Would that does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense, V. But let's. It depends on which context are we mostly paying attention to. Your your zero discontent couples, your heterosexuals. That for them it works. Let's say they want to now make babies and all that. Then we can advise them, or the partner that's not affected must be on PrEP, and the one that's living with HIV must be on their medication to or to make sure that the virus is not transferred to the other person. But for homosexuals, it becomes tricky. Nothing's tricky because here it's not like we're trying to conceive. So why
Mm.
are we not using protection? We can, yes, let's use PrEP. The other party must be on PrEP, but it mustn't be a thing that we're not going to use condom. We taking PrEP to prevent yourself in case there's condom bursts. Then you can be on your PrEP. But other than that, there's no other reason for you not to be on PrEP and the other person to be adherent to their medication.
I got you. We need to drive then a clear conversation or clear messaging when it comes to the marriage between our condoms and our PrEP and our loop and somebody who is on HIV taking
Yeah,
because it is the conversation becomes what's the right word becomes loose, or loosened as it goes up down, because somebody say no, but guys yafana muswena udlama ARV and then mina
yeah,
ngi-PrEP, so
yeah, yeah,
yeah, and without considering the dangers of that. And people say, yeah, if I have an STI, I'll be able to take care of that. If I have what, I'll be able to come to and take care
yeah,
of that. So I think the message there needs to be quite important when you talk about ARVs, when you talk about PrEP, condoms, and lubricants. I'm interested to find out about opportunistic infections. I think you touched on them a little bit earlier. And,
yeah.
what does it mean when you have, you are virally suppressed? Does it mean that you will not get an STI? Does it mean that you will not get TB and also I'm in my head I'm having the this up and down movement of viral of what viral load and then yeah CD4 count. So it's high, so it means I'm protected and I'm healthy. So therefore, I'm opportunistic infections. I will not have them. But does it mean that I will not have them altogether? And let's touch on those opportunistic infections.
Okay, cool. With that one, it depends with the environment. Let's start with TB. It depends with an environment that you're in. Remember, with opportunistic infections, it doesn't mean they only attack people that are living with HIV. They attack every population in general. So if I'm not using correct, taking correct precautionary measures for me to prevent myself from getting TB, obviously I'll be infected by TB. By TB. Therefore, it doesn't matter whether you're living with HIV or you're not. But also, I mean, the point that I'm trying to make is that it doesn't mean that now when you are virally suppressed, you are guaranteed that you're not gonna get opportunistic infections. That's if you're doing good things, okay, things correctly, you obviously gonna be safe. But if you're not, unfortunately, you're gonna be attacked. When it comes to also your STI, obviously, if you're not using protection and you sleep with someone that's having STI, you're gonna be affected with that. So you being virally suppressed, it means you being healthy, not the viral load, not the virus replicating in your system. But let's be open-minded to say that it's not only people living with HIV that are attacked by opportunistic infections. They can still come because you are human. There's a lot of biological changes that are happening in your system, and also the season, everything, environment, they affect and have an effect on that.
Again, the messaging for me needs to be clear, because we are saying to someone, I will teaser every day,
Yeah.
adhere to it. Opportunistic infections, and then umuntu already thinks that they are immune to TB, to STIs, to I cannot get that because I'm taking my ARVs. So I think the messaging also needs to change. All conversation.
However, you taking your medication, we're lowering the risks.
Yeah.
So
It does not mean that the risk is not there. That's my point.
Yes.
Not saying that the risk is not there. The risk is there, by all means, but it means that it's low. So when you continue taking care of yourself, continue taking your ARVs, then you are in the clear. But it doesn't mean that you will not be, or rather, that doesn't mean that you are immune to all these
conditions. Yes.
If you have sex with somebody who has an STI, child won't get the STI even if you are virally suppressed. So we just have to make sure that the conversation is right when we get to that part. We are almost going to close. Two last questions, but let me quickly go to the comment section, because we are only coming in on YouTube, and we will take this conversation live on our Facebook, yes, and other social media platforms. www.popin.org gets you the behind the scenes, and Facebook is around Popin. And we're also on Twitter for health with the hashtag Clinical Monday. Find us also on Instagram. It is at Pop In. Let me just congratulate Apiwe for partaking in the run. I forgot the hashtag. Hey, well done. Pushing healthy lifestyle. We should join. Okay,
Yeah,
I should.
We need to keep healthy.
I'm not coming to that school. I'm sorry. But congratulations to the team for participating in that, and everybody that has went to their Think Basket mental health workshop that took place also in Durban. Thank you so much for being part of that, and we really appreciate it. Amazing news as well. Gender affirming healthcare is underway, and I don't know if we should have a special launch or whatever, but look out on our social media platforms. We have some amazing things that we're saying about gender affirming healthcare for all our trans sisters in all our 5 districts, and make sure that you pop in to find out more with regards to that. Okay, quickly, the comment section. Happy Pelling says hi. I don't know, are you saying hi to me? Are you saying hi to Mpho? But there's a hi. Thank you, Happy, for tuning in. Undando comes and says, I'm loving this interview. I'm loving it too, Dando. Says Mpho Mankayi is doing the most with his viral load knowledge and viral suppression. Hashtag you equal you. Thank you so much, Dando, for tuning in. I think Mpho is doing an amazing job as well. I'm enjoying this conversation. I'm flowing. I don't know why you're not giving me the compliment that I'm flowing. Right, Dan. Dando comes back and says, elbow, I can't pronounce that. I think it's elbow koch or elbow koch. And I think you guys look amazing. Oh, thank you. Condoms all the way. Yes, and those are the comments. Make sure that you keep them coming. So we got an update for that name, so we don't have to come back and give us. I think what you should do though is maybe perhaps on the comment section attach the link to that study further when it comes to that. All right, let's get back to the conversation. What happens then if I miss or say a day or two without medication? And I'll tell you this, I was so shocked when I learned something that there was somebody who has missed their medication for almost 2 weeks, and this person has been virally suppressed ever since 2012. And it was a read up and a case study. And I was like, what? You can miss your medication for like 2 weeks? Are you not scared? I mean, 2 weeks is a long time.
Oh.
And in my head, I'm having, because Sister Mapaseka is one of the people that are viral load champions. And when she explains viral load to me, like I have her in my head, which actually, no, Fee, the virus is very smart. It's going to replicate. And then when you now come back to take medication, you'll not be virally suppressed. Then we have to change you and put you on a different kind of regime. I'm like, what? So this person has stayed 2 weeks without taking their medication. What are the risks? Okay, we touched about the risks, but what happens if you miss your dose? We spoke about that, but let's emphasize on it. 2 weeks is a long time.
2 weeks is a lot. A day, 2 days, I would understand. But now, when it's 2 weeks, it's not like you've forgotten. You have your own reasons that I'm not gonna touch to concern. But what happens when you misses your dose? You're now giving a chance the virus to multiply and to do whatever that it wants in your system, because there's nothing that's protecting you. Remember, when you're taking your ARVs, there's a certain plasma levels that we expect, or the plasma levels, the medication in your system to be at. So now, if you're not having anything, it drops down, and you don't have any form of protection, and that's where we would go to your CD4 counts. I'm just not sure as to up to when can you actually say that you are in danger, but it's just not a good thing to say that you must always keep your medication. A day out, okay, I'm not the right person to say to accept, but it happens. We human, but try not to make it to be a trend. Try not to let it be more than 3 days. You can't be forgetting some of your medication for 3 days.
Yeah, I wanted also to touch. I think you read my mind there, because I wanted to say, but you've been taking medication for almost a decade, and obviously you have.
Yeah.
If you've been adhering, how long then do you see that switch? Now the viral load is high, and then the CD4 count goes down because you've been missing medication. How long does that take? Does it take a day? Does it take 2 days? Or does it take a month of you missing your medication?
Okay. Like I said, I don't have the specific answer to say how long that does it take. I don't have any literature to support whatever that I'm gonna be. I'd be lying. I'd be excused from it.
We trust you to give us the right answers to the conversation. Let's unpack on types of ARVs. And funny enough, you and I had a conversation when I was in Durban, I think about a month ago.
Yes.
Asked me about ARVs in the show. I was like, I don't know if these are ARVs or I know PrEP. I know what is blue. And if there's any update on PrEP, trust me, I'm that guy to say no, there's an update. But somebody was asking me about a type of an ARV, and our conversation with Sister Dube and Api was around that, the dangers of that, one, but two, also that kind of medication is old, or the person needs to be on new medications. So let's unpack ARVs and perhaps maybe explain to us what is it contain, because I know that there's explain to us.
Okay, cool. There's different types of ARVs. Also, can we not focus on the color, on the container, and whatever? Those changes a lot. Those changes a lot. We're gonna be confused. Just in as much as it's difficult names to know. I mean, Lena, it took me months to be able to say, oh, dolutegravir, efavirenz, because you end up mixing up these terms. But just make sure that you at least have an idea as to, there's efavirenz, there's what, for you to be on the safe side. Because if you're gonna cram the container or the pill color or white, you are doomed. But also, before I can answer your question, Viv, there's something that I think a lot of people miss or tend to not understand, that your PrEP, your ARVs, your PrEP, which is the pre-exposure prophylaxis, and someone that's living with HIV, that they are on ARVs, as well as your PEP, which is post-exposure prophylaxis. They are on ARVs. There's nothing different. You don't think that when you are on PrEP, you're not taking an ARV. It's an ARV. Don't think when you're taking PEP, it's not an ARV. They are all ARVs, but they are given at different times to prevent yourself when you are living with HIV, just after the incident has occurred. That's what we need to make sure that we unpack. And then when it
Okay, somebody's calling Mpho.
types
So
of
while he's post, hopefully he comes back. He does not leave without
yes,
explaining to us, the different kinds of things. Are you back? Okay,
yes,
welcome back.
I'm sorry about.
Tell the person that you're gonna call him later.
I apologize. I apologize.
That you live.
I apologize. I'm using my personal device to stream, so
Okay.
there's calls
Okay,
that are
go
coming. So I can't put it on flight mode because I won't be visible. But anyways, there's okay. When you're talking about your ARVs, we have your TLD, which is the common one that was introduced in 2018, which is the one that has good benefits. Yeah, it's been proven that it suppresses the viral load very quickly, and also it has you don't get resistant quickly when you are on it. So when you're talking about TLD, we're talking about tenofovir, we're talking about lamivudine, we're talking about your dolutegravir. That's what the whole it's remember it's FDC, which is full drug combination. So everything is there in one pill. It's the three different ingredients. That's the basic one, the most common one. And also we talk about TEE, which is an older regimen. The one that used to have a bit hectic side effects, but also when you beginning to take it, you're not going to be fine. But as time goes by, you get used. It gets used to your system, and everything tries to get back to normal. When you talk about TE, we're talking about your tenofovir, we're talking about your emtricitabine, we're talking about your efavirenz. So those are the common ones. And the other one is being your PrEP. Remember, I said that it's a type of an ARV. It's the common name we call it tenamine, but it consists of two drugs or ingredients. No, two drugs, which is your tenofovir as well as your lamivudine. And then those are the common ones for people that are in regimen one, the first regimen, or others in case if you're having any problems with your kidneys, we put you on the one that we call Dumiva. Dumiva is the combination of abacavir, combination of lamivudine. Those are the most common ones that a lot of people are familiar to. I'm not sure if
Listen,
like
it's okay.
regimen.
You know what? There was the Grego Mang and the Mang Vave. That's all that I had. Yeah, I'll come
Yeah,
to that school. For now, I know that there are ARVs and there's PrEP and
yeah,
there's PEP. Quite
yeah,
interestingly, though, a lot of people don't think about how the three dipped the drugs or the
yeah,
ARVs how they're taken in different times and in different scenarios, so to
yeah,
speak. So one
yeah,
is one is post, and one is I am living. I'm
yeah.
experiencing the virus. So we don't know that. I think it makes good messaging, or it makes good conversation that we should carry through. But thank you so much for breaking them down. But either than that, we need to adhere to our medication, whether you are on the PEP, or that is the post, or you're on the that's PEP, the pre-exposure, or you are on the ARVs. You just have to make sure that you take them on time. Mpho, that's all the time that we have for. I apologize for starting late, but unfortunately in Gauteng we're experiencing load shedding, and you are exempted from load shedding in Devon. But I appreciate your time, and please be available next time to do this. I'm not moving to Devon yet.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why?
I'll tell you off air. It does not want us to. But it has to do with Nogo. But we'll talk about
Right.
that. But nonetheless, thank you so much for your time. For people to be in touch with Mpho, they can find him at Orampop Inn, that is in eThekwini. You guys are moving. I wanted to give the old address, but we'll still use the old address until you guys move to
Yeah.
a new office. Yeah. Nonetheless, they are still there. Make sure that you pop in to find out more on ARVs, on PrEP, and on PEP. And I mean, we have very open, very informative, very engaging clinicians that will make sure that they give you the right information for you to manage HIV. Listen, Mpho, thank you so much. We'll see you in a week or two. But don't be a stranger to the platform. Thank you.
Thank you so much, V, for having me. Thank you so much to everyone that's viewing. Bye.
Yeah. And in that case, we are done. Let's wrap it up. I'm gonna see you on Friday. As we say, it's a wrap where we sit around with two. I'm hoping it's gonna be this couple. I want to have this Hulontlofus to come through and talk about gay marriage and what does it entail for us who are single. How do we stola kanjani and how do you get it right? Because wow.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, we move. I'm gonna see you on Friday. Mpho can relate. Anyway, I'm gonna see you on Friday. Until then, happy streaming. Bye.